welcome to the Lost and Faded podcast, where we get faded and lost into whatever movie I'm feeling for the week. This week, Akira, with me, Byron, and Angel.
Yo.
Welcome, Angel.
Thank you.
All right, this movie's wild.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I didn't expect it to be this wild or insane, but it really goes there.
It does, but it looks cool doing it.
Yeah, it does.
So...
The art is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's just start off. It starts... How the fuck does it start?
So it starts with like the biker gang like fighting the other biker gang, right?
I remember now. We'll cut this a little bit. It's okay.
That's fine.
It starts there at the bar. And then it's Kaneda, who's the main character. He has a cool red bike. He's this cool dude. He doesn't really care about much other than like girls and his bike.
Yeah.
And he has this biker gang. I don't know all their names, but the most notable person I know is Tetsuo. Mm-hmm. Which he's just like, he's kind of brash, impatient. He's like, I'm gonna do what I want type of person.
Yeah, he's like the underdog almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's jealous of Kaneda's like bike and shit because they're about to go out like roaming the streets just to like. Also, I think it's in 2016. I think it said.
It was something, yeah.
It was like a year we passed.
2019, something like that.
And it's like Neo Tokyo, and the city is just a mess.
Yeah, I think it was like post World War III.
Oh yeah, it was post World War III.
Yeah, which I'm like, we're still waiting on that one, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked the bike. It was.
Yeah, the bike's awesome.
It was awesome.
All their bikes are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Tetsuo's first bike is okay.
It was a bike. It was a bike.
It's not Kaneda, it's a bike.
No, he was like, it's got 200 horsepower. And they're like, wow.
And he has to like ride it a certain way or it doesn't function well.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they go straight on the street. So like, let's just find this little biker gang and like fight them on the streets. Like these guys are hitting each other with bats and shit.
Yeah.
Off their bikes. Just in the streets, they go on to like a huge like closed down highway. Yeah. And they're just like they're fucking shit up. They're like fucking each other up. There's like a dude with a big bike and he just they're wild.
Yeah, dude. Because I don't know. It seemed pretty lawless until until they do finally get somebody in there. But
yeah, the cops come at some point. They're just like, "Hey, stop it!" And they all just drive away because they have bikes. And the cops they don't have those type of bikes. They're like flying down this highway.
Yeah, they're just going.
And then so while that's happening, in the city, there's a riot happening.
Yeah.
Which it's just the city is constantly just erupting in like riots and shit.
Yeah, they're all like always fighting. And I think wasn't it like there's like that group waiting for like Akira to like come back. I don't know if it was them or if it was like someone else.
I think it was. I think most of the like riots and rebelling is from that one group that's focused on trying to get Akira back. But it shows this guy bringing this kid along, like carrying him through. I think the guy's injured too. And he's carrying this kid, like pulling him, and this weird like alien kid with like a blue face type shit.
Dried skin. It was really weird.
It looks like an old kid, like an old person
like
kid.
Like a mini old person, but he's a kid.
So this dude's dragging this kid. There's dogs running after him. Yeah. And like he's fighting the dogs. He gets in between the police that are about to control this riot and the people rebelling, and he shoots the dogs or something. No,
he does shoot the dogs. I think
he shoots the dogs in traffic. That's what I missed.
Yeah,
he shoots the dogs in traffic, and then he brings the kid to that field, and then he's like, "Fuck, we're in the middle of this field of all this." And the police are like, "What's he doing with that kid?"
Yeah. And I thought it was like his son or something. I was like, oh, he's gonna protect him.
Hey, yeah. No, he
No,
wasn't protecting him.
no,
I mean, we got.
yeah, he kind of covered him.
I guess it's protecting when we get to the later part of this. I don't know. These kids are weird. There's a lot going on with them.
It is a lot. I thought I was getting into like a cool, like cyberpunk futuristic thing, and like the turn that it took was like
No,
far
literally
like what I was expecting. But it was good.
The bikes are the most like futuristic part.
Yeah.
And some of the weapons. Some of the weapons, they go crazy.
Yeah.
But then, so this guy is in the middle of the crowd, and I think he starts freaking out, and the police are about to shoot at him, and he's like, "Go, get out of here!" And he pulls out his gun, and he gets shot up.
Yeah, and like he still tried to like shoot back, and they just shot him again. They were like, he's still moving.
The kid was back there too. They didn't even care.
Yeah, like I think the guy yelled after they were, or like while they were shooting, like he's got a kid, and they're like, oh. It was kind of crazy, but he got out fine.
Yeah,
sort of.
And I think that just makes the riot go crazy. And I think they get that kid out. No, they don't get the kid. The kid runs away.
Yeah, he runs off.
And then we get back to the highway, and they're beating up the other gang. I think there's like one dude left, and he like drives away, and Kaneda's like, just leave him, let him go. And Tetsuo's like, nah, I got this. And he flies past everyone, and he's chasing this dude. Yeah. And what happens to the dude? Did the dude like fall off his bike or something?
No, so I don't remember if he did or not actually. I thought because he got away.
Did he go?
I'm pretty sure he got away, and then Tetsuo is like driving, and maybe he got him. I don't remember, but
he might have killed him. He might have like knocked him off some shit.
Yeah, well, because they had those like really long like pole crowbar or like it was like a pole thing.
Yeah, they were. They were fighting.
It's crazy.
But so Tetsuo's still going. He's still speeding down the highway, and he sees the kid just wandering in the middle of the highway, and it's too late. He hits the kid, and his motorcycle explodes.
Yeah,
and the kid's fine.
Yeah, because he was just like but he goes flying off. Now he's injured, laying there. And then they wait for the rest of the gang catches up to him.
Yeah. And they're like, what's going on? And Tetsuo's like knocked out or some shit. And the kid's just standing there. And I was like, this is a crazy situation already. In the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This kid with some powers. They don't really show the powers too much in the beginning. It was just the explosion and the kid just sitting there. I mean, he guarded it too.
Yeah, like you can kind of see maybe. I think he did like a little like force field or something. It looked like, but you're like, what was that? like
what's going on here?
Yeah. And then that's when it starts to get crazy because then the army shows up.
Yeah, they show up. They immediately they're like, get on the ground, get on.
Yeah, and it was funny because I thought like with the whole like like biker attitude, they'd be like, nah, like fuck you guys, whatever. But even Kaneda, he looked around, he's like, oh yeah, we should probably just like
so, they had guns.
They weren't they weren't gonna risk it. They're like, no, we were just innocent bystanders. Like, and they're like, yeah, all right, get down. And then they take Tetsuo.
Yeah, they take Tetsuo, they take the kid, which this one's a skinny little boy. There's 3 of these kids.
Yeah.
The other kid, one of the other boys shows up. He's a fatter boy, and like this little like
he's like in like a
chair, like
you know how Yoda has that like floating chair.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it
that one or Professor X's chair.
Yeah, where he was just like floating around, and he's like, "Come back home with us." And the kid's just like, "All right." So
I got it now.
yeah, there's nowhere to go. But it was just kind of weird to me that they were like, take the injured guy too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense once we get into everything going on with that, with the army and the...
Yeah, because then they get arrested and they get sent to the police and they get interviewed. And then they're like, oh, like, are you guys part of this group? And he's just like, what are you talking about? He's like, he's like, no, we're just like part of our gang.
Yeah, we're riding bikes.
Yeah, we're riding bikes. So that was interesting. And then
they let them go.
Yeah.
But they said they'd tell their school about it. Which, damn, ripped them.
Yeah.
And then Kaneda sees this girl, Kei, in the thing, and he's like, I'm gonna get her out of here. And he's like, she's with us, actually. And they're like, okay, go, get out of here.
Yeah.
And so, she was there because she was a part of the riot happening.
Yeah.
And she got arrested. And so now she got let go. And now Kaneda's like, hey, so I got you out of there, so what's up?
Yeah, he's like, let me take you out. And she's like, nah, I think you only care about girls and you just did it because I'm a girl. And he's like, nah, you're different. Like, how they all do. Yeah.
And then so she just leaves. She thinks someone leaves, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He calls her a bitch too.
He does. It's like, this bitch. So she was like, "Oh, hang on a sec," and then she goes, because she sees this other guy that I guess she knew, and so she goes to see this other dude and just goes to talk to him, and then he's just like, "Well, what the hell's going on?" He's like, "What about me? I got you out of this."
She does not give a fuck about him. And so the group is worried about their friend, Tetsuo, because they didn't tell him what hospital he was sent to.
Mm-hmm.
Which, wild. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
I mean, in a post-apocalyptic world like that, you just kind of got to be like, okay, I'm sure he's taken care of, which is kind of what they did.
Yeah, they were like,
all right, well, let's get back on the bikes.
And then, he wakes up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he leaves. I think the nurse comes in. She's like, he's gone. And he goes and sees his girlfriend, which they have a little group of girlfriends that just show up at their high school.
Yeah.
Which they're only, like, all of them except Tetsuo's girl is only in this scene. Oh, wait, no, they're in one more scene. But they barely show up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't really, like, important. Yeah. I guess.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, they were, like, hanging out with, like, the cool biker kids or whatever. And, like, Tetsuo's girl was the only one who was, like, I felt genuinely, like, a good person.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of them were kind of like, oh, let's use these boys for money, like, whatever. And she was, like, worried about him. And when he goes to see her, that's when, like, I don't know, he was still kind of like, like, I need help, but leave me alone. Like,
yeah, he was like that with her the whole movie.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what do you want? But
so he's like, he just goes to her and he's not really explaining what's happening. He's just like, where's Kaneda's bike?
That is what he does. Yeah.
And then so they take his bike.
Yeah.
And they're just driving around. I don't know what his aim or goal of driving around was.
I think he just wanted to ride the bike.
Yeah.
Which honestly I kind of get.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a cool bike.
It's pretty sick. I mean, I don't know if you played Cyberpunk 2077, but they like modeled one of the bikes after that bike.
Oh,
in that
damn,
game.
really?
So yeah, like that. I played that game. I was a huge fan. I know it's an unpopular opinion.
It got better.
I liked it before.
Oh,
I didn't have issues with it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why everybody else did, but whatever. But I liked the bike, and I think I would totally ride the bike too. So I get it.
Yeah.
But then he got into trouble.
Yeah, he's driving around, which they're a biker gang. They're gonna see that bike, and their other biker gangs are gonna see that bike, and they're gonna be like, "We gotta fuck them up."
Yeah, that's dude. Yeah.
And so that's what they did. They saw him, and they knocked him off the bike.
Yeah.
They beat him up.
Yeah, they beat him up.
Didn't they assault her?
Yeah, that scene was kind of crazy.
When this movie started, it was like mature shit. I was like, okay, let me see whatever that means.
Which I thought was gonna be like, oh, like when the dude got shot up.
Yeah,
because that was pretty like, oh dang, like,
graphic.
Yeah, they were like, oh, there's blood everywhere and whatever. But this was just like unnecessary. I think it was pretty.
We did not need that.
Nah.
Yeah, and so Kaneda And the biker gang catches up because they realize that Tetsuo still took his bike.
Yeah.
And they they beat up this group.
Yeah.
And they help Tetsuo, which he's mad about everything.
He's mad at the world, man.
He's mad at the girl. He's mad that they helped him.
Yeah.
He almost kills one of the biker gangs. The enemy one.
Yeah.
Because he's just so mad about the situation.
Which, I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I deserved it for that one, but yeah, that was kind of crazy because then they're like, "Oh, we came to rescue." He's like, "I don't need rescuing." Like, what? And I'm like, "Well, you kind of got whooped, and then your girl got whooped, and like you kind of need the rescuing." Sorry,
honestly. And then so, the military comes, and then there's this colonel who's like leading the whole operation. And he's not really talking to them. He's always at the side just staring at them. As like the military people are coming around and they take Tetsuo and they leave everyone. I think they took their bikes too.
Did they take their bikes? I don't remember. But
I think they did.
That's kind of bogus.
They mention it in another scene.
Oh yeah.
And then so they the military take them take Tetsuo on the bikes and leave. And then so now the gang's just at them. I don't know where they're like chilling somewhere with the girls.
Yeah, isn't it that they have like that like local bar, like type place that they go to?
I don't think they went. They were like outside someplace, so they were just chilling somewhere, and the girls were like, they don't even have their bikes. Let's dip.
Yeah. Like they're not cool anymore. Let's fucking go.
And now they're like, oh great.
Be like that.
And then, while they're chilling, an explosion just goes off in this nearby building. And it's one of the rebel attacks. And Kei's running out. And Kaneda sees her and he's like, I gotta follow her. Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on. That dude,
yeah, I don't know. Like, he just had like them heart eyes for this girl for no reason. She wasn't even cute like that, but I guess she wasn't him.
The worst part is he sees her doing this fucked up shit. He's like, I'll follow her. I'll see what she's about.
Yeah. Like, hey, maybe I can do that. I mean, he was out there doing crazy stuff anyway. Mm-hmm. So he probably thought it wasn't that crazy.
And so she's running through the sewers, or like near the sewers, like outside before they get into the sewers. And he's following her, but he doesn't show himself. And then one of the military finds her, and he's like, don't move.
Yeah.
And she's like, right. She pulls up her gun. And then Kaneda like tries to stop him.
I think didn't he tackle the man?
Yeah, he tackled
that dude.
And then another dude came out,
and he was gonna shoot him.
Yeah, and then Kei shot him.
Yeah,
and she was like, "No."
Like, I think that was like her first like kill.
Hey, she's bombing places.
Yeah. I mean, like the first like direct one, I guess. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, if you're like, hey, like, you know, let's get this building or whatever on some crazy stuff, like, you know, yeah, it was, I guess, your first kill, but like, this was the first one she saw, like, you know, directly what her actions caused, I guess, and yeah, she was just like, oh my god, and he's like, well, we got to get out of here. So then they start running.
Mm-hmm. And then I think it skips back to Tetsuo in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And this is when it starts getting crazy.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, these little kids, I don't know why they were doing this. They were like making him hallucinate shit and stuff.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know why or how, but like one of the kids showed up. I think it was like the first, like the skinny kid.
Yeah.
The skinny kid showed up as like a giant, creepy bear thing, like toy almost, but like I don't know. It looked like possessed or something, and he came out of the wall. Like it wasn't just like a little, like it was a huge, huge bear just came out of the wall. And was like, hey, like. So he's freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out. I think there was a point where like toys climbed on his like bed too, and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
And I really don't understand why they're doing this to him.
They really didn't.
I think they're bored.
It was like I immediately was like, oh, okay, this is like some ghost like haunting, like poltergeist type stuff. But no, it was these kids. They were just messing like that. They were like, hey, like, what's up? This is their way of saying hi, I guess. Yeah. But then
he starts freaking out, and he like he starts activating his powers, which I don't remember. Did they show how he got his powers?
I think no. I think it was like he kind of just had like latent power in him. And then I know they gave him some drugs, like they gave him some type of pills or something. They said it was to like suppress it, but I think it also like I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what the encounter was like. He just had it in him, but I think like they kind of like awakened it. I don't know if it was the kids or if it was the drugs or like both.
Kids when he ran into that skinny.
Yeah, because then he starts getting like these headaches and like these visions of, just like crazy stuff and like his head hurts. But that's when he also realizes like he lashes out and he's got like powers, which I don't even know what we would call it. Like it's like
it's like telekinesis type shit.
Yeah, where like they can like move stuff or like they can move stuff with their mind.
Yeah,
but they can also like invade your mind, sort of like some Professor X stuff.
I
don't know.
I had the word in my head earlier, and now I completely forgot. It's fine. He just has like
tell us something
crazy powers. And so he's now like rampaging. Have you ever seen the movie Chronicle?
No.
No? Okay, so it's these 3 kids or 3 high schoolers that got like superpowers.
It's always good.
And I feel like the ending of this movie, or not the ending of this movie, the ending of Chronicle kind of like uses a lot of the elements from this. Like one of the boys gets injured and he's just on a rampage at the end. And he's in like hospital gowns and they have similar powers too. And I'm like, they definitely use this as an influence.
Yeah, I think that this movie influenced a lot.
Yeah.
Just because it was so different at the time.
It's still different.
It's still really different. Like you have to have a pretty broad, open mind, towards like the middle to end. Because like I said in the beginning, you're like, oh, this is like a cool cyberpunk, like, crazy stuff's happening. But once you get into the powers and like all this stuff, like,
it gets wild.
It gets pretty crazy because then it's like the military is like testing and stuff.
Yeah.
So like
it gets kind of body horror-ish later in it. I like all the elements in this movie. It blends well. Yeah. It really does.
It does. But you're watching it like you're slowly like like little by little you're like, what the hell's going on?
So Tetsuo's going on a rampage. Yeah. And then we go back to Kaneda. Him and Kei are like, I think they're going to like the rebel group meeting, and they're all like, why'd you bring this kid here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
They thought he was a spy. They were gonna kill him. Yeah. She was like, she showed up to the meeting and they were like, well, who are you? And that's when he was like, well, I helped her get out of jail. And they're like, so you're not a spy? And then she was like, no, like she vouched for him. Yeah. And then that's when they were like, okay, like whatever. But they didn't want him, honestly.
No, they didn't.
They were like, well, just get out of here. You're just some kid. But he was like, nah, like, I want my friend back. Like, I deserve to be here.
He's like, I know him. Yeah. And they're like, we might use him as bait.
Yeah, they're like, well, okay, I guess we'll find a use for him. Like,
So then Kaneda joins this rebel group to infiltrate the base where Tetsuo is.
And I don't know how they even found it.
I don't know either.
They were just like, oh, just go here.
There's also a lot of information in this movie, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of background stuff.
There's a council getting mad at the colonel for everything going on, which also I'm like, how is any of this his fault?
Well, I guess, so the government, they're just like, hey, you're in charge, so anything that happens is your fault.
Yeah, you're right.
So, they were on his ass, and then they were like, what did they sent that one guy to like replace him?
Yeah.
That didn't go well.
That did not go well.
Which did not go how I thought it. That was some Game of Thrones type stuff. Yeah. Like, the dude. Sorry, I'm getting like out of order.
We can talk about it because we're about to enter spoiler talk.
Sorry. That's okay. Yeah, so Man, dude, yeah, like the guy that went to go replace him, he just pulled up like in this helicopter, and like the dudes walk out to meet him. He's like, I'm Lieutenant Colonel, whatever. I'm taking over this operation. This is whatever you did's a mess. And then he had like his homeboy on his left, and he's like, shoot him. And then yeah, like not even like you're fired or like go back home. Like they were like, shoot him. And so the guy was like, nah. And then like what I don't know who shot him. Somebody shot him.
Yeah,
like, or I don't know who shot for this. Two people died, but it wasn't the two guys who were talking. So it was like some side guys or something, right? Like,
no, wait. The main dude who was about to replace him got shot, and then a dude who was like, wait, no, got shot too, I think.
I don't know, cause like, yeah, cause he was like, shoot him, and the guy was like, nah, like, I think he shot like his other dude that was on his side. I don't know, a lot of people got shot. But then he pulls up, and then he's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna stay in charge of this operation because I know what's going on. Who is this guy? Whatever. And it was about to be like some cowboy standoff type stuff where both sides were like, and then the actual colonel guy who was in charge at the time, he was like, no, you guys follow me. I'm military. Who is this guy? And then so they're like, and he's like, what? No, you guys defend me. And then they're like, nah. And they just popped him off.
And then he was like, arrest the council too. Which I was like, that's crazy.
He was just like, I'm taking over here. Which is like, I did not see him as that type of dude. But he did it for, I guess, good reasons.
Understandable reasons. Because, I mean, there was no way they were going to control these kids for that long.
No. Well, so the little kids maybe. But Tetsuo's powers just got too strong.
Yeah, I'm like, if there's going to be more people like Tetsuo, there's no way they're going to, like, be able to handle that. They have no way of fighting those kids. Those kids can leave whenever they want. They just choose to be there because they're like, where are we going to go type shit.
I think it was also, like, they had that idea of, we have these powers, we can't use them for bad.
Yeah.
However,
which they were tested on as kids, which is fucked up.
Yeah, like, because you eventually, you find out that I don't know why their skin is wrinkly or like whatever, but like eventually there's that flashback to them, and they're being tested on like to see like how good their psychic powers are or whatever. Which, okay, but then like I guess they got stronger and they just like keep them there.
Really?
And then that's where they had I don't know, that's a huge spoiler. Should I just drop it?
No, we're in spoiler talk.
Okay, fine. That's where they were testing on Akira too, because the whole thing was like the cult, or like I don't know if I want to call them cult, but that group that was like waiting for Akira to come back. They're like, he's God, he's gonna come back one day, like on some like Messiah type stuff. Which was kind of weird.
And then when Tetsuo breaks into the thing and they find the pieces,
he's dead. He's been dead this whole time. And that's like some God is dead type stuff.
Yeah, and the colonel's like, see what you wanted? There you go.
Yeah, because he's like, at some point he was just like, I'm the strongest. Who's going to challenge me? And then the kids are like, no, Akira's stronger than you, but like, don't. And then he's like, I'll kick his ass. And like, he goes to find him. And then he finds like, what his spinal cord, like his brain, like his whatever. But yeah, then you find out he was literally just some kid who was tested on along with these three. And he died for some reason, somehow. But he was also the strongest of them.
Yeah, I forgot how
it doesn't. I don't think it says. I don't even think they say how he died. He just died, and they didn't want to like completely get rid of his body, so they tested on like his spine and stuff.
Insane.
This is crazy. Some real like.
I mean, his power, insane.
Who?
Akira.
Yeah.
That shit was wild. The whole ending, that last like 20 minutes. Mind blowing.
Yeah, like even the credits. I was watching the credits, like it was crazy. It was so crazy. I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest.
The body horror stuff with Tetsuo's body keep like expanding.
Yeah, like because he's fighting the government, which is like already crazy. But then they hit him with like a satellite laser beam, and they take off his right arm. And I think that's where it started, because then he started using like tech or like just random garbage to like make his arm, and then it started connecting to like everything around him, and he started turning into this giant like blob, and he couldn't control his power or his body, I guess.
Yeah, that power, it became too much. It was consuming everything, too.
Yeah, because like they were saying like it was growing a lot, but he thought he had it.
Yeah, he did.
And they were like, hey, like at some point they were just like, look, man, like you can clearly beat us, so like let's just get you to where you're safe and not a danger to people.
There was a point where he was in pain, and they were like, "Hey, let's just go get those pills."
Yeah, and he's like, dude, and he took out the like his cult, because then they thought he was Akira, so they're like, oh, he's coming back, and then they're like following him, and he grabs like he puts on a red cape, and he's going, and he's like, oh, hey guys, watch this, and he kills them all. He drops the bridge, and they all just fall and die. He's like, ooh, so then he just flies away.
He was just wilding with that power.
That was so crazy. It was so crazy. But I mean,
which I understand, because he always wanted to be more powerful than like Kaneda, and that was his whole thing, where he was like, I'm not gonna be the smaller person. I'm gonna be the most powerful person.
Mm-hmm. It was like underdog gone evil, which is like what you don't want, I guess. But Kaneda came through.
He became a badass towards the end.
He did. He was like, I'll be the one to take him out since I'm his friend, and I was like, dang, that's real.
Yeah, no, really though. The Colonel barely fought. He barely did much. He pulled out his gun a few times.
Yeah. No, that's right. He didn't really, but I mean, that's what they do, them higher ups. They just watch you do all the work.
I'm like, there was points where he was like up close, and I'm like,
could have done something. Yeah. Could have definitely done something. But yeah, no. He literally only shot when he was getting absorbed by Tetsuo's body, which is kind of crazy. Why did he turn into a giant baby?
I don't know.
He was like a giant, gross, malformed baby.
Yeah, this is like one of those movies where you have to watch it like 3 or 4 times, and then you're like, I fully understand the movie.
I still don't get it.
We only watched it once through.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's wild.
Because like,
also there was a point where when Akira was using his powers, where the scientist dude was like, because Akira like made this huge dome type like energy that was just capturing or like taking everything, and just, I don't even know, it was just destroying everything.
Are you talking about the rainbow color thing the scientist
No. I'm talking about when Akira used his powers, and he just became a huge dome over the city.
I don't remember.
When he woke up, and that's how he took out Tetsuo.
I thought he like exploded. I thought that's what that was. Like he went the white light.
Yeah.
Or before that.
Akira using his powers.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It was weird because at first I thought it was an explosion.
Yeah.
But then once you go into the like white light that looked like an explosion, it was like some like alternate reality type stuff, and that's where it was crazy. But yeah, that's where he like, I guess you could say he made his own reality in that like dome.
I don't know what's going on, because the scientists were like, that's the birth of our universe.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was the quote that got me, because he was like, wow, this energy is like the birth of our universe. So I'm like, you're telling me that this kid had the same effect as like the Big Bang?
I guess so.
That's how strong he is? He can create the universe, and he just decided to do it over Neo Tokyo?
Insane.
I don't know. Crazy. And then that's how he like beat Tetsuo, or like at least got him to a point where he was like, hey man, you gotta chill out. You gotta chill out. Come with us. We'll figure it out.
I don't know what that energy was doing.
Yeah, because then Kaneda was going through, and he was like just spiraling through time and space, and then he's like running at some point, like on stairs or a building, and then it falls into a spiral of nothingness again. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Very like.
And then the kids are like, we can save him. We just have to use all our power. And I'm just like, you guys are very powerful, all 3 of you, and you guys are just sitting in that lab.
Well, because they so like when he confronted them, he kind of kicked their ass.
Yeah, true. He did.
Like all together, they were like, "Hey, stop!" And then he was like, "Oh yeah," and he just like pushed back, and it was like no contest. Like he just brought the building down.
I don't think they really tried that much as he was, because he was going crazy.
Yeah, but they also like, if what they were saying is true, and the pills were like dumbing down their power.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like they're kind of already like nerfed.
Yeah.
So then there's this dude who's just fucking. He's just wild and he just doesn't care. He's like fuck the pills. You know, he's just going all out. And it's growing. It's constantly growing to the point where he can't control it. And then so the kids are like, well, together with Akira and him, we can like contain it or at least control it to the point where he's not turning into a giant deformed baby.
Yeah, I don't know. It gets wild. So, what did you like about this movie?
The art style is number one.
That's crazy.
The art style was so good because there's something about like that like old like 90s anime that's just like it's like nostalgic and futuristic at the same time.
And it doesn't like get worse. It always just looks good.
Yeah. And like they can put random like colors and beeping like just nonsense and we're like that's so cool. Like that is so cool. Like I don't care. Like it's been so long and I feel like that's one of those things that's just never not going to be cool. I don't know, but the art style for sure.
Yeah.
The bike number 2. The bike's cool. Gotta pay, you know, gotta say it's great. I mean, the movie was good overall. Like you can tell it influenced a lot of things.
So many things.
Especially the Kaneda's like bike slide.
Oh yeah,
the iconic bike slide.
And like so many
put that in a clip here or something. Like just like of him just like
I might put a compilation of all the bike slides.
Yeah, because it was pretty like dude, he was just doing it. Like that was his move without him saying that was his move, which was like so fucking cool. It was so cool. So yeah, it was just like overall a really cool movie.
I like how the plot was always evolving. It never felt like it was like stopping or stalling. It always felt like we were talking or expanding on something. That's really nice. I like how bonkers it gets at the end. It just goes out there.
It's one of those that it definitely it keeps you guessing, and then even when it shows you like what is happening, you're still like, what is happening? Like what is happening? Yeah, because in the end, I don't even think we said the end. Like, what, they all just like go to space, right?
I think so.
Like they basically they get through to Tetsuo. He acknowledges he's out of control, and then they're like, well, together we can control it. Like so him, the 3 kids, and Akira just kind of like pew, like off into nothingness, and then they're like, I don't know, they're like gods, I guess. I don't know, like in the cosmos, and like everybody else, like Neo Tokyo is just flooded and destroyed.
Yeah, it's just
Kaneda's cool though. He's chilling.
Yeah, he's chilling.
The rest of the biker gang, I think, died.
Except one of them. One of them was still alive.
Yeah, that one homie. He was like, yeah.
I felt bad about him. He watched all his homies die.
Yeah, he was just there, bro. Like,
I don't even remember his name.
It's not important.
All right, so my ranking system. All right, I have a little different. I have little categories.
Okay.
So we have see it day one or see it day one or buy it, stream it or rent it, watch it for free if you can, or just don't bother. What would you do?
Out of like all of those?
Yeah.
That's kind of a tough one because I would have liked to see it day one.
Yeah.
Like if I saw it in theaters, I think that would be super cool. But I don't know. Like I would like watching anything free is great.
Yeah.
So,
oh jeez.
Sorry, I know I really kind of threw a wrench in that system.
God damn it, Angel.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay.
Logic.
Hey.
But okay, I'm gonna go stream it. Yeah, like I mean, if you want to watch it, if you've been wanting to watch it,
stream it. It's worth a rent.
It's definitely worth a rent. Because you're gonna want to watch it more than once. Yeah. That was my thing with renting movies. Like I'd watch it once, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Now I have this for a week. Yeah. And then we don't give it back. But anyways, that's why no, I can't say that. Can I say that? That's why there's no family video anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows that's why family video went out.
They didn't have no collection system. That's their fault.
And Netflix.
And Netflix too. Which is not on there. You got to go to Crunchyroll, I think. But yeah, anyway, so like I guess what I'm trying to say is I would watch it day one if I can.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Day one.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Bye.
Peace out.
Hold up.